So I know this video idea, this prompt of the things I wish I knew in my 20s is pretty played out, but I wanted to share mine. I share what I do and I create what I do because I hope that someone gets value out of it. And if just one of these things lands with one of you out there, then it was worth it. No matter how many views this video gets, if you change a habit or create a new habit or change an aspect of your life for the better because of something I put out, then that's all that matters. So whether you're in your 20s or you're in your 50s, whatever, it is never too late to try something new. Hi there, if we haven't met, I'm Kevin, and I started this YouTube channel after I lost my job twice in 1 year and decided to break out on my own and try and create a life of purpose and freedom. So follow along if you're interested in doing the same. So 3 big things. Number 1, the spotlight effect. In your 20s, you're still in college, you're not that far removed from high school, and you are still in the camp of wanting everyone to like you. And so what you do is you make decisions based on making sure that you're still liked, that you don't go against the grain too much, that you make sure you stay in your lane, that you don't do anything that might embarrass yourself because what will people say? What will they do? They might not be my friend anymore. And that bleeds over into the careers we choose, the lifestyles we choose, spending decisions we make, everything. See, the problem is we think that we occupy this much space in people's minds, when in reality, it's more like this. Hello. No one is thinking about you. Everyone has their own stuff going on. No one is worried about what you're doing. They're worried about themselves. So do whatever you want. Try that weird job, create something, move to that place that you've always wanted to go to, but you're scared you're gonna upset your family. Free library. Let's see what we got here. Alligator and the mixed up scarecrow. That might be a good one to bring home to the kids. When was this book written? 1968. That's crazy. Developing good attitudes towards school. How to plan for an excursion. The next one is similar to the spotlight effect, and it is from Morgan Housel's book, Psychology of Money. In there, he talks about what he calls the man in the car paradox. What this basically boils down to is when we see someone in a fancy car, think to yourself, how often are you actually admiring that person versus thinking of yourself inside that car or wearing that fancy watch or wearing those new shoes, and how much people would admire you. People think that they buy these things and people will look up to them or want to be like them, but really the people just want the thing. So this can relate to making sure you spend your money appropriately and not get caught up in keeping up with the Joneses, as they say, just to try and look cool to your friends. Because again, your friends aren't thinking about how much you have. They're just thinking about like, oh, if I had that thing, then people would like me more. I've never been a big spender myself, but this really, it almost fortified that I was doing the right thing, because I did find myself wanting to buy these new shoes or make sure that I'm on trend with people around me. But when you combine the two, the man in the car paradox with the spotlight effect, and realize that you spend that money, you buy that thing, even if people do even if you get to show people around your new car or this new renovation you added onto your house that you didn't need, that they'll quickly forget about it. And then it's all said and done, and then you're just stuck with the bill. Studies have shown that the happiness from buying something peaks right before the purchase happens. So imagine you've got your cart filled out and you're about to push pay now or submit, whatever the button says. Right before you click that button is when you're going to be happiest about that purchase. Maybe when it comes, you unbox it, maybe a little bit of happiness there, but it peaked. It already peaked. So it can only come down from there, which means you're gonna have to buy something else in order to feel that dopamine hit again. The third thing I wish I learned about sooner is Stoicism. So Stoic philosophy has been made popular the past few years by people like Tim Ferriss and Ryan Holiday. It's something that I wish I would have known sooner, because what it really boils down to, and maybe, for me, what took me a while to read more about it and learn more about it is because I'm a Christian, and the idea of Stoicism, you see that ism and you think of Buddhism or mysticism, and you think, I don't want to adhere to a new religion. That's the ignorant side of me. But realizing that Stoicism is really more of a philosophy. And it's really just a philosophy that boils down to personal responsibility. So what's really interesting about Stoicism is how the writings and the books and the philosophies lend itself so well to 2025, even though it was written thousands of years ago. A couple of examples if you're unfamiliar with Stoicism. This one's from Marcus Aurelius, who wrote Meditations. It's kind of, if Stoicism had a Bible, it would be Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. He was an emperor. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Like a plane flying over your head when you're trying to give an awesome quote about Stoicism. I don't have control over that, so I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm just going to do another take. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." So control what you can control, which is your response, not what you can't control, which is what happens to you, what people say about you, what people are saying on the internet. Another one from Epictetus: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So again, taking personal responsibility. Not everything has to become a thing. This is one of my favorite ones right here. Seneca: "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This idea that much of our pain and suffering comes from fear and overthinking and not life itself. I might botch it here, I didn't write it down, but there's a Mark Twain quote, I believe, that talks about this, and he says, "I've suffered from a lot of things in life, much of which never actually happened to me." I mean, maybe you are this person, but do you know anybody in your life who's just a worrier? They just worry about what's coming. It may be a good thing that's coming down the line, but they're just worrying that something could go wrong. They're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop instead of just waiting for the event to actually take place and see what happens. I think Stoicism talks a lot too about being present and in the moment. That's where that trying not to worry comes in as well, and it's taught me to be a better parent. Seneca talks about taking the moment to, he calls it, snatch the pleasure your children's bring to you, because we are not promised this next hour, this next day, anything. So it's in those moments where we're on the couch or my kids are on their bike and I'm sitting there on my phone feeling like I have to fill time, and it's just putting it away, being present. When I'm meeting someone for coffee, I never bring my phone in. That is a rule for me, because they have committed their time, their most finite resource, to me, and I'm going to respect that. That's something the Stoics have taught me as well. So to summarize, don't worry about what other people are thinking about you, because they're not thinking about you. Don't spend money on things just to make people happy or make people admire you, because again, they're not thinking about you. And learn about Stoicism. Read meditations. Read a couple quotes. Maybe look up Ryan Holiday. Listen to Tim Ferriss. Ryan Holiday has a really awesome email newsletter. He has this Daily Stoic, but I subscribe to the Daily Dad. I'll put a link down below. It's really been incredible for me. He talks a lot about historical figures, who they were as parents, who they were not as parents, and then obviously quotes a lot of Stoic philosophers and how that relates to parenting as well. So I highly recommend that. If there's another list or ideas you have that you would like to hear me talk about, go ahead and comment below. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe.